This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come At It.
Welcome back, everyone. Your favorites.
Your favorite little baby, baby boo podcasters.
The Baby Boo podcast with a request that we make every single episode, but we're going to make it again.
Yeah.
Because we appreciate all of you that do it, and then if you haven't, why haven't you done it?
It's time.
It's time to do it. It's easy. You just go to wherever you listen to us. You like, you comment, subscribe, you share us with your friends. That's all you got to do. It's as easy as that. We're not asking for much.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can keep producing the content that you love.
And speaking of requests,
our
episode after this.
We do one every 5 episodes. And next one is a request by one of the friends of the podcast. We shouted him out last time.
If it works, if the thing is still there, our next request is called The Bride's War Blood.
Okay.
The Bride's War Blood.
War Blood, yep.
That is the next request to Rooney. So if you have a thing you want us to watch, comment, whatever.
Yeah, we do it every 5 episodes.
In a way, one of you did, when we finished 87, one of you requested tonight's film for 88.
Okay.
Now, it would have been on there regardless, but the fact that it is, one of you wanted this just makes it a little bit more special.
I think this movie is very special. I don't really think the title sells it. The title makes it sound
I have no idea what the title even means.
I don't either, and that's why I think to its detriment,
Maybe.
I think
I don't know what you'd even call this thing.
I don't know what you would call it, but it's like Deadbeat at Dawn.
So the movie is Deadbeat at Dawn, and this is I have heard of this movie before. I pretty much avoided watching this because I kind of figured one day it would be here.
Yeah.
We would be here.
And there is an Arrow home video release, so if you want to own it on Blu-ray, there is a 1080p version of it, which we watched tonight. And I honestly, if you like kind of grungy, dirty, independent action movies, I would say give this a shot. It is... I have a lot to say about it, to be honest. I'll probably get to that at the end of the episode. Not bad things. It's really good things, actually, because I think it's really a kind of a lightning in a bottle movie. There's very few times, even on this podcast, where we see a movie that accomplished what this movie accomplishes.
I can't mince words. I loved this movie.
I loved it too. It was, I'll be honest, at the start, it was a little hard for me. I wasn't fully bought in.
Oh, I was bought in pretty quickly.
So it took me a minute to get bought in, right? Because at first you think it's going to be this schlocky, stupid...
Oh, it's schlocky.
It's schlocky. And it is... And there are parts where it's really stupid and it goes just weird, fucking wild places. But it's worth it. It's worth a watch. If you like that kind of guerrilla filmmaking and you like indie action movies, I think it's a very important one to watch.
The thing about this movie is this little thing puts so many big action movies to complete shame.
Well, especially passion projects.
It's embarrassing.
Because this is, what's his name? Jim Van Bieber. Yeah, Van Bieber. It's his passion project because it took 4 years to film. He did...
It cost no money.
It cost no money because they got no filming permits. They just did whatever the fuck they wanted to do.
There's no, big actors, nothing. And it's just filmed completely guerrilla style. But this,
it's like a love letter. I don't know. Like it's kind of crazy how you see something, and yes, it's schlocky. Yes, there's some weird parts. Yes, there's some parts that don't make sense.
there's a lot of weird parts,
and, like,
and that's why it's great.
And there's bad acting and everything like that. But if you get past all that and just like fully buy yourself into this movie, you're gonna have a hell of a time because it's entertaining as hell. It's fun to watch. The action sequences are pretty well done, especially the last one.
Oh, the last action scene is one of the best things.
Well, and the fact that, like,
seen.
I think I was fully bought in when it's like you see all these stunts and you realize that it is not stunt crew. There is no, like, safety coordinator. There is no anything. It is just a bunch of dudes in abandoned buildings fucking each other up and throwing each other and fucking scaling, like, parking garages and just fucking making a down and dirty action film.
And it's violence.
It's
and
violent,
psychotic.
The story barely makes sense.
The story makes sense.
Like, it makes sense, but, I mean, like, the stuff that happens in it barely makes sense. Like, the dad scene.
Oh, it makes sense. In the universe, in the psychotic universe that this movie exists in.
Or how, like, his girlfriend is this, like, clairvoyant, like, spiritual...
She's into the
occult.
granola.
Yeah. Because she reads, like, the Necronomicon and uses a Ouija board and consults a psychic at the beginning of the movie. I don't know. It's going to be a rambler because I think we're going to just be all over the place. But basic premise, what we'll say, is there's a dude. He's in a gang called...
His name is Goose.
Yeah, his name is Goose. He's in a gang called the...
Ravens.
And their rivals are the spiders.
Yes.
They hate the spiders, so it's ravens against spiders.
And there's a gang war in the city.
And there's a huge gang war. It's like I think it's filmed in Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah, and so there's this... They use, like, primarily abandoned buildings and abandoned... Like, one of the scenes takes place at an abandoned drive-through. You'd never, like, notice it, but... It's all abandoned buildings because, again, they didn't have any filming permits, so they're just filming where no one was.
And it adds to the atmosphere.
Yeah, because it kind of feels like this fucking, like, Mad Max...
dystopia.
Like, you get this vibe that just everything is, like, really messed up.
It's just pure anarchy.
So, we get this guy. His girlfriend consults a psychic, and basically, she wants him out of this gang.
Because it's dangerous.
She doesn't want him in this gang anymore. She loves him, and she's like, if you stay in this gang, we're not together. Like, I've had enough. I've had enough of the gang banging. I've had enough of drinking and
worrying about you.
And, like, snorting coke and all this stuff, because he has a coke problem and a drinking problem. And so she wants him out. He decides he loves her, and he's going to get out.
Yeah.
So he beats up the spiders. Like, at one of the beginning scenes is he confronts the spiders, like, main guy.
Yeah.
And they have a fight in a graveyard.
And he
beats the
shit out of him.
Ever-living shit out of this guy. He cuts him pretty good. So, like, the rest of the movie, Van Bieber's character has, like, a giant scar.
Yeah.
Goose has a giant scar. And he slashes the guy's forehead and, like, beats the shit out of him. Like, humiliating him in front of all, like, his other gang members. One of the gang members tries to shoot Goose, but then Goose pulls out a gun and shoots the guy's fingers off, and it's like
blows his whole hand into smithereens.
It's like super fucking violent, and one cop comes for this to
show up,
gang war, and they all flee, and so she's had enough. She's like, I'm done. Like, if you don't get out, we're done.
And he says yes.
And he's like, okay, fine, I'll get out, because he fights with her because he doesn't want to get out, but then he realizes that she will leave.
She is being serious.
Like, she will leave if he does not get out. And he loves her, so he's like, fuck it. So he goes and talks to the gang member of the Ravens. No, well, so he was the member.
Yeah.
But now he's not, and now it's some other guy, and he wants to get out, so he passes the power on to... I can't remember his name, but
he's the new guy. And
he's the new guy, and he's like,
I can't believe you're doing this.
He's like, yeah, but it's good you're getting out because we're doing a partnership with the spiders.
And he tells him, they're just gonna betray you, but whatever.
Yeah.
So he leaves, and then the guy from the spiders,
The
is like, hey,
humiliated guy is like, he tells Bone Crusher and
some other goon.
Fluff, I can't remember his name.
Because basically he's
Snuff.
like, hey, he's not in the gang anymore.
He's like, he has no protection anymore,
I
right?
want you to kill him.
Because he doesn't have gang protection. I want you to kill him and kill his girlfriend.
And they they go while Goose is making a final deal to get all this money so him and his girlfriend can live happily ever after.
Yeah.
They show up at his house and they murder her. And the rest of the movie is Goose has a mental fucking break.
Yes.
Complete mental breakdown.
He becomes like a raging alcoholic and gets back into the gang, and they're going to do like this one big heist. They're like robbing armored cars.
An armored car.
And that's Goose's opportunity to get close enough to the spider guy to kill him.
Well, basically what happens is, because they're all like, oh, everything's fine, we're all working together. The spider guy, he's going to betray them.
Well, he betrays them and like murders the entire fucking Ravens gang.
Goose came prepared, and he's got all his weapons, and he steals the giant bundle of money.
Yep.
And then...
So his master plan, I guess we'll just go through the entire plot. His master plan is he's going to give all the money to Christie's sister.
His girlfriend's sister.
Sister. And they're going to meet up at a train depot, and that's where like the big showdown happens at the end. The in-between things are... we got to get into all of them.
There's a lot to go into here.
Let's save the big final confrontation to the end, because that's like the coolest fucking part of the entire movie. And we'll talk about the other unhinged shit that happens.
Which is everything.
I guess we start with when Christy knows she's going to die, she consults a Ouija board, and she's like, okay, is Goose going to be okay? And it goes to no. And then she's like, am I? And then it goes to, like, am I going to die today? And it's like, yes.
And the two...
I love how immediately when it says yes, the two guys show up and start, like, torturing her and, like, killing her.
Yeah.
And while Goose is doing a cocaine deal...
with what... I don't even know if he's supposed to be a cop.
I don't know, because Goose is like, what do you need? It's like some white dude in like a suit.
Yeah.
And he's like,
is it
he's
a
like,
cop?
what are you going to do with all that?
What do you need that for?
And he's like, well, maybe I'll sell it to kids. Maybe I'll turn it all in. What do you care?
It's the universe as movie existed.
And then, when he comes back and then he goes on this weird, like, not weird, because I mean it makes sense for his character, but like the fucking weird bender where he like goes into like a fucking alleyway, beats up a homeless person.
So to add to the insanity, right? Because he finds her dead. He finds his girlfriend dead.
Oh yeah, he goes to his dad's house.
He takes her body, wraps it in a blanket, throws it into a trash compactor. That's the funeral he gives her.
Quite a send-off. Yeah, he crushes her body in a crusher.
And then, he goes on a psychotic bender where he just does every drug imaginable. He drinks all the alcohol, beats up a homeless man.
Drinks his booze. He goes into an alleyway with another homeless man and is acting like he's going to kill himself. I actually do like this scene because it's like cutting quickly, and it does like a 3, like, I'm not kidding you, like, blink if you miss it, like 3-second scene of him like blowing his brains out.
Yeah.
And it just cuts back to him, and you're just like, it's so jarring that you're just like, I for a second I thought he actually did it, and I was like, oh wait, no, he didn't. He's like thinking about doing it. And then he doesn't, because like the guy in the alleyway is just like, all right, okay, all right.
Well,
okay.
his guy from the gang shows up.
His friend from the leader of the Ravens shows up, and like puts his head underwater and wants to offer him a job. That's the only reason he saved him.
To do the armored car
thing.
There's also all the stuff with his dad.
Well, yeah. So at some point during this bender, he goes back to his dad's house, which again is in an abandoned building, so it looks all dilapidated and condemned, and like no one should be in these fucking buildings.
And his dad like is his dad is mentally gone. Just gonzo.
Well, gone. He's mentally unwell and also like a drug addict.
You see him. There's a scene of him injecting some sort of drugs into his toe.
Yeah,
and
he's like Nirvana or like heaven. This is
it. This is the meaning of life. And he's also, his dad is convinced that there's like an actual.
He's like a conspiracy theorist.
There's like a war going on.
Well, and like his son has been converted to like the evil side and wants to like kill him and take all his things because his son stole one beer. And
and his dad just keeps bugging him for money. He says the money is for beer, but
it's obviously for drugs.
He knows he's going to spend it on drugs, and there's a whole ending thing where.
And he knows his son has like all the money because Goose gives him $100, and all he does is buy drugs, and he knows he has more, so he wants more. And
he confronts him with a machete.
Yeah, he confronts him with a machete. Goose beats him up to defend himself,
and then just gives up,
and then just throws the money at his face.
And it's like, just whatever, go kill yourself.
Yeah. This movie is like down and dirty. It's pretty bleak. I mean, no one.
Oh, it's very bleak.
There's like no like happiness really in this movie.
Well, so the guy from the Spiders, who's kind of the main villain. There's this whole thing where he has like this woman that he's sleeping with, and there's a part where he's like discussing his like dirty plans with all of his gang member buddies in like a stairwell.
Well, she loves him. Yeah. There's that scene where they're all laying together, and she's like, "Well, son, you really love me, don't you? Like, you really want like to stay with me."
He doesn't say anything,
and he's like a piece of shit. Yeah. He like hits her and like chokes her out, and is like, don't you ever like say that again or whatever.
And then there's a scene where he's talking with his buddies in a stairwell, and she comes up to him and is like, "We have to talk. I'm pregnant." And he just kind of like starts laughing, and she's like, "Well, you're happy, right?"
And he like smiles and laughs, and then just like uppercuts her.
He uppercuts her and knocks her out.
Like, Jesus Christ! Like, this movie's fucking bleak, dude. It's there is no like good characters really. Even Goose is not like. I mean, he beats up a homeless man. I know he's like distraught, but he's not a good person.
Like he does his good act.
He tries to redeem himself by giving Christy's sister like $100,000, right?
There's also the whole bit of him in the bar, which is great.
Where he's like, I don't know if it's Van Bieber, he was actually drunk, or he's just really good at playing drunk.
He's been drunk many a times in his life.
Because he did a really good job of like acting drunk.
Well, it's like this woman like that he knows.
Yeah,
is trying to hassle him for money.
Yeah,
and he throws like a couple coins on the table.
She's like, "You got no money?" Because he wants to get laid. Because he's like upset and he's depressed and he wants to. Yeah. He wants to.
She's like, "Wait, that's it? That's all you have?"
And so she moves on, and he like tries to go and like get like solicit her again.
Yeah, and it almost starts a giant bar fight and
crawls over the booths and shit and
runs over them.
Yeah,
and the whole thing with him and his the like, because when they give him the job for the armored car robbery, he sees that it's the guy.
Yeah,
and he's like pissed off.
When he attacks him and he's like, I'm gonna rip out your throat. I'm gonna fucking rip out your throat.
You got my girlfriend.
And he's like, chill.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're all working together. Chill. And he's like, are you gonna be calm? And he's like, yeah, I'll be calm. And then immediately starts like going after him again.
One of my favorite scenes of just absolute unhinged insanity is when the leader of the Spiders tells Bone Crusher to go kill Goose and his girlfriend, and it's just him like in like a abandoned factory or something, and he's just talking with the guy with him. He's like,
"Oh yeah, Bone Crusher is just like,
give me the stuff," and he like sniffs some stuff, and he's like, "Man, that's nothing. That's nothing compared to killing somebody."
He's like, "I fucking hate people,"
and he goes on this rant of like, "I hate people, man.
People are shit.
I hate them. I don't give a fuck.
Everyone's shit.
I don't give a fuck about shit." It's just this unhinged.
You get a feel for very quickly that Bone Crusher is one of the most like mentally unhealthy people you've seen in a movie for a very long time.
Well, there's a great part where it's like later on when the leader of the spiders.
Well, because he's like, you fucked up. He's back in the Ravens. Like, we can't kill him now.
and he's like asking him about the woman that when they killed her. He's like, did you look at her eyes? You look at her like pupils going out when you killed her. He's like, no, man. I was, what's his name, was working on the face. I was working on the lower body. It was snakes.
I pulled out her intestines.
And he's like, what? Her intestines. They look like snakes. Just coming out. Just coming out of the skin.
He goes in like a 2-minute monologue about like pulling this poor woman's intestines out of her body.
And then the guy roasts him because they didn't do the job, which was to kill the guy. But then there's a part where they're all like, they're getting ready. They're getting ready for the armored car robbery. And the Bone Crusher pulls out a snake to
taunts Goose
with the fucking snake.
And then Goose,
they get into a tussle.
Yeah, slaps it out of his hand. They get into a tussle. Because Bone Crusher is very unhinged.
Yes.
Incredibly unhinged. And I do love the scene where they're talking. So, like, fucking Goose and the leader of the Ravens are talking. Mm-hmm. And every time it cuts to one of them, you just see, like, porno, like, all over the fucking walls. Like, in every shot of this fucking, like...
Well, it's after the robbery, and they're, like, celebrating. And it's, like, they're at the hideout of the Ravens. And so... Yeah, everyone's partying. There's one guy who keeps, like, rambling, just raving insanity about doing acid.
Yeah.
To another guy who has, like, a hoodie that he's, like...
He's like, yeah, you're invisible, man. You're invisible, and you can't see anything, man.
Well, the guy he's rambling to has, like, his hoodie, like, zipped super fucking...
And they're meeting at the forehead, and they're, like, yelling at each other, like... This movie is like all over the goddamn place.
But yeah, it's the current leader of the Ravens and Goose is just like, you can't trust him. Like, he's gonna, this guy's gonna fuck with us.
Well, and he knows, like, I know he killed Christy, and like, he's messed up.
Yeah. The other guy's like, no, it's gonna be fine, and we get a little fucking commando montage of Goose loading up his weapons to go to the meeting.
Well, because it's a big meeting where they're going to, like, split up all the fucking money, right? And so they go to this fucking abandoned warehouse.
And everything's fine.
Again, he, like, commando weaponed up, so he's fine. Because he knows they're going to fuck everything up. And so they go and they meet, right? And they have this weird thing about they have to wear a mask when they first meet.
And then they take the mask off.
And then they rip the mask off. And a lot of, since they're working with no money, a lot of the masks are like taped to their face and
it's also
with, like, electrical tape.
It's very DIY because it's like half of a Batman mask or something. It's not like, it's very just like, this is something they found, so just fasten it together. All the outfits are just
like one of the times, like when they first have the confrontation with the spiders, when Goose is the leader, he has a little like Zorro mask on,
while the other guy has a Batman, like half
a Batman mask,
half of a Batman mask.
Yeah,
I
don't know
because it's fine.
It just adds flavor to the movie. Okay,
listen, in this universe, I get it. I totally get it.
This is something weird indie Mad Max shit.
Because in this psychotic, deranged universe, it totally makes sense.
You know, this movie did kind of remind me of, like, the first Mad Max, right? Where it felt kind of, had that flair of, like...
There's still a society, but it's not...
Yeah, and, like, Mad Max is, like, set in the future, and there's still, like... It's still kind of society, but it's really, like...
But it's on the verge of, like,
It's on the verge of, like, collapse and stuff. And, I mean, just in the fact that Mad Max was this insane indie, like, just fucking lightning in a bottle, like, action movie that no one had ever seen before with these crazy stunts, unsanctioned filming locations, all that shit. Like, this is like kind of like an American Mad Max,
How's
but, like,
feel?
didn't have, like, the same traction that Mad Max did.
Well, yeah, because this was one of the bleakest movies ever made.
Yeah, because nothing good happens in this movie. Just people dying and, like, people getting the shit beat out of them.
And it's incredible.
Because when they go to the meetup, there's like a guy on top of a pipe, and he just pulls out a fucking gun after they exchange the money, after they're giving over the money, and he just kills the entire Ravens gang.
But our dude's ready. So
he throws a knife.
He throws a knife at the guy. Knife goes through his eyeball, and he blasts away a bunch of other guys, grabs the money, runs away.
Yep. So he runs away, and this is where he calls the sister and is like, "Hey, are you Christy's sister?"
Yeah, he calls her and tells her, "Meet me here."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, while this is going on, there's a guy in this restaurant, a young old man, who is rambling about Jesus.
Well, he ordered breakfast, and he wants to order a second breakfast.
For free.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to eat it." And she's like, "Who's going to eat it then?" And he's like, "Oh, Jesus."
God.
He's like, "God, of course."
And she's like, "Okay, well, that's going to cost, like double."
He's like, "I can't believe that you would like."
I can't believe you would charge Jesus money.
He calls her like a
heathen.
A heathen bitch.
Yeah. It's great.
Not a heathen. He calls her a heathen bitch.
It's great. Flavor.
For no reason. It's just he's wearing this like old lady wig, and fucking they just spray painted his fucking beard gray. They didn't even try because it's an indie movie, but it just adds flavor. There's no reason that he's there.
It adds flavor.
It's great.
To this psychotic universe.
Like everyone is a psycho in this fucking universe.
Well, there's a great part where our dude, walks into a gas station and just takes a fucking can of like Sprite.
Well, because remember he's getting chased by it's two of the other gangs, and they see him on like he like is taking the money, and he's like running.
Yeah. And
they try to run him over, and he jumps off a bridge into like a river.
Yeah.
And then the guys like lose control of the car and crash into the river and die.
Before they crash into the river, they violently run over a construction worker.
Yeah, that's right. He turns into a dummy at the last second. And
he turns into a dummy and his head explodes.
Explodes into blood all over this fucking car.
And they drive into the river, but he like escapes.
Because I think it was supposed to be like a unfinished road, that like led right into the ravine. And so like he dies. He gets the money, and he goes into a gas station and like steals a Sprite
and starts drinking. And the workers just staring at him. And
he's like, "You got to pay for that before you
got to pay for that." And our dude just not having it, so he walks up to him while a car is pulling in
with like a granny and her
and a guy who looks like a Mormon missionary.
He does. He does not act like one, but he looks like one.
He was ready to fire for the Lord. He walks up to the guy, the clerk, and is like, "Give me your fucking money." And the granny peeks out the car.
"What the fuck? What is happening?
Son, get the fucking gun."
And then he's like, "Grandma, where's your gun?" And he looks through her like purse and like grabs a gun and starts like just blind firing.
And he annihilates the fucking clerk.
Kills the clerk and fucking fires, and like the guy like ducks and runs.
And the granny's yelling like, shoot him in the fucking...
Shoot him between the eyes. Right between the eyes. Listen. I
love it.
Love everything about this movie. I love the campiness. I love the fucking...
how psychotic it is.
It's so psychotic, but it all works. And I think it's because, like, there's no scene where it's not psychotic, right?
Well, it's like the part...
Like, if there was, like, a moment of clarity where it was, like, played super seriously and not, like, campy and not psychotic, I think that would have ruined it, because it's like, if you're going to do that, you just need to fucking lean all the way into it.
I'm even going to call this camp. It's so fucking violent and bleak and brutal, but it's just, like, it's this psychotic, just insane universe where... you just have some granny.
Well, what I'm saying is, I'm glad there
was
no scene that was played like super straight, right? Mm-hmm. It was all like the same like cadence, where it was just the same level of psycho, sometimes more.
Oh yeah,
but the same level. It was never like, it didn't reel it back and like have like a real scene. The closest you got was like Christy and Goose's like love, where it was like
Right before they-
showing he like was reformed,
Yeah.
and like stopped
Well, they
doing
go to, like,
drugs,
a-
and they go like they hike, and they're
Yeah.
like making love in like a clearing in a forest.
With the leaves and stuff.
Yeah, and
you
it's
get,
like
like,
that's the well, and it's still psycho because they're like chasing each other and like
Well, no, that's fine, but it's just, that right after that scene, everything goes to shit.
yeah, because that's the only time it like draws it back a little bit when you get a little bit of normalcy. Like he's finally
'Cause
out.
that's also the scene where she mentions her younger sister.
Yes.
And that, her younger sister is like living normal because Christy is like, she's a runaway.
Yeah.
But yeah, they go in like a forest and they have a blanket in like this clearing with all the fall leaves and it's all happy. And then the scene after, she gets bashed to death with fucking golf clubs.
Golf clubs, yes. It's a very bleak movie, I will say that. But I really appreciate how they leaned fully into the psycho.
How about
the psychotic nature of this entire movie?
how about that little dream sequence
Oh yeah.
when our dude falls asleep and he's dreaming that he's in a cemetery and he sees the wrapped up bloody blanket body of his girlfriend walking, and it like goes to her gravesite and falls down, and the fucking leader of the spiders shows up.
And he starts finger fucking her brain.
So he opens up the blanket and it's like a decomposed bloody skeleton corpse, and he opens up the skull and literally starts finger fucking her brain and like cackling, and then the freaking bone crusher shows up and starts like jabbing our dude with a golf club,
And then like you see snakes all over.
and it turns into
him.
like snakes.
Yeah.
Just snakes everywhere, and he screams and he wakes up, snaps out of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this movie is incredible.
It's fucking crazy. So now, finally, and I think we're ready. I think we've talked about every other scene. Have we gone over every other scene?
If I remember something, I'll mention it. But
Let's do our final scene. The
This-
most insane. Oh, when they are robbing the armored cars, I forgot. Let me just mention this real quick. He scales down a parking garage,
yes,
and you could tell
on camera, yeah.
he had never done that before. And sure as shit, I looked at the trivia. He had never done that before. He did it twice before they shot the scene, so he knew he could do it. Mm-hmm. And then they shot the scene. He has no harness.
Just
He
a
has
rope.
No fucking nothing. He has a fucking rope tied to a parking garage pillar
That's it.
and scales an entire parking garage.
And throws a gigantic throwing star at a
Yeah.
guard.
Yeah. With no training.
It's great.
No crew.
Amazing.
Nothing. No
Yeah.
safety. There was no fucking safety crew on this fucking team.
Rock and roll, baby.
I love it.
Punk rock.
I love it. So let's talk about the final scene. The scene that really like just cemented this movie as like gold for me.
This scene goes so hard. It puts so many
It's-
movies to total shame.
It like exemplifies what you said at the beginning, where it's like I've seen movies with like massive budgets, like huge fucking budgets, and they do not hit their target at all.
But this does.
Like this does with no budget, zero budget.
There is so much. I don't know. There's such like a punk rock kinetic energy to this scene.
Well, from the music and the build up to the fucking like final fight, because he like falls asleep on the fucking money,
Yeah.
and then the whole gang, the whole spider gang,
He has the
shows up.
nightmare. Yeah.
He has the nightmare, and he's at the train tracks because he had called the sister and
Yeah.
said like, "Meet me at the train tracks, and I'm going to give you this money." Christy wanted me to give you this money.
Yeah.
And so she's going to meet him there, and he thinks just falling asleep there because he has nothing
Probably
else
exhausted.
Yeah, nothing else to live for. And he's like just waiting for her, but the entire gang shows up.
They're all there.
And so it starts as like riff, this like heavy, like, punk rock
Pulsating riff. And
Yeah.
he's just like getting ready as all the guys are like squaring up. The guy's like, get
of
that
course-
fucking bag.
And of course, he has his mask on.
Yeah.
And he takes it off. And it's our guy.
He's like, get that fucking, kill him and get that fucking bag.
And they all start attacking him, and he like beats a bunch of them up. He like grabs nunchucks at one point and fucking like starts cracking skulls literally.
He literally takes his nunchucks at one point and chokes a guy so hard that he starts gushing blood like a fucking geyser.
When it's edited so ferociously that
It's filmed
it's like,
in such like a...
and there's like quick cuts, there's fucking just insane like circle shots and fucking blood everywhere.
There's also
and,
like trains running the whole time.
Yeah, well,
which just adds to the like kinetic atmosphere.
Before we get too further into it, I do love every time they film in a scene that's kind of populated. You'll always, because I mean there was no filming.
Oh yeah,
like sanctions at all.
There's always bystanders.
There's bystanders looking at the camera, like they're like, oh, these guys are like running through like with like blood makeup all the fuck over them, and these people are just like like some of them looked concerned and some of them like looked very confused.
Well, there's that scene earlier right after Christie's killed, where he's walking through like it's like a market, and he has like blood on his hands and everything, and he's just like stumbling around, and everyone's like, when he's walking past, everyone's turning to look at him and being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it's just, they're just going at it, just filming it guerrilla style, no fucks given. It's amazing. But yeah, the train station scene, like, there's like guys, there's like train conductors like looking as these dudes are fucking...
Well, and I mentioned that because at the end of the movie, there's that too. But anyway, so they they go up on a rooftop, and he's finally like confronted with Bone Crusher, right?
He picks up a gigantic,
like a beam.
Yeah.
And he fucking starts like hitting him in the stomach, and like Bone Crusher is like getting the advantage until he like, I think he like elbows him in the balls or something.
Well, he gets his nunchucks back.
Yep. And so he like beats the shit out of him and then slams his head a bunch of times on a fucking like on the cement.
It kills him and
then like rolls him off the building.
And our dude falls off the building, lands on the street below. A car runs him over and severs his head, and you see his severed head just rolling down the sidewalk.
Yeah. And then the sister finally shows up, so she pulls in, and
as he's chasing the leader who has the bag of money.
So the leader has the bag of money, and he gets into the sister's car and starts like hijacking it. And as this is happening, Goose gets his arm in the window and like starts trying to like grab the guy, and like the guy rolls up the window. So Goose's arm is literally fully in this window, right? Okay, so he's fully in the window. They start driving. This is Van Bieber in the fucking car, like with his arm in the car, like holding on to the car while it's driving.
Yes.
Without putting his feet on the ground. And he literally told the driver of the car, I guess, this is in the commentary of the Arrow video, I haven't seen it, but he told the driver to like get as close to the wall as possible.
Yeah, because there's a part where they go through an alleyway and they are... And that
that car is slamming him against the fucking wall,
against this brick building.
Yeah, and apparently there was a piece of metal protruding, and he got cut so deep and so hard that he had like he was bleeding out, and he just kept filming. Apparently,
and all of this is in the movie. It's all there.
It's like real blood,
and the guy when they eventually stop, there's this brawl that is just fucking insane, because like he gets his Goose gets his finger bitten off, and then the guy starts like stabs him like a billion times.
He like shanks him,
and then like he gets him down and he grabs like the guy's throat.
Well, he told him.
Yeah, he did tell him.
Okay, he told him that he was gonna rip his throat out,
and that's exactly what he does.
He grabs his throat and like pulls it apart, and
with his bare hands,
and then like literally rips his vocal cords out
with his bare hands and kills him. While the whole time this is happening,
it's like that fucking scene from Rambo.
Yeah,
when the guy just ripped his when Rambo ripped his Adam apple out. Yeah.
The whole time this is happening, the sister is like
Screaming
covered
in the car.
in blood, terrified.
And I love the scene where he gets the bag back and kills the guy because he's like he forces himself like up and he's like here, take the money. It's $100,000. Take it before the cops come.
She's like, where is Christy? And he's like, she's dead. And she's like, did you kill her? He's like, no, I loved her. And then the sister like walks away.
And he's like
our dude
dying on the ground.
Ambles out onto the street slowly and then just falls down, and you just see this rotating shot of him on the ground in a puddle of blood, and the movie ends.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Yeah. Okay, so
this is incredible.
I was going to bring this up because if you know, Red Letter Media on YouTube does a Best the Worst. And they just recently did Terror Squad Back from Hell in Tracks.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that episode,
Not
but
yet.
in Terror Squad, I think it's Terror Squad, they used like a town that had like no one in it, and they were like destroying a bunch of buildings. And so they used that footage, and they just like had a town where they got a permit to like destroy a bunch of shit, right? This is what happens when you don't really have a permit to do any of that, because they don't destroy any buildings, but my God, do they take full advantage of just like guerrilla style, like fucking like filming like that.
Well, yeah, because this is not a studio. There is not even the smallest, most like low down dirty production company.
Well,
it's just a guy.
When I say that, because like Red Letter Media like commended Terror Squad for having those like real scenes of like buildings falling over, and like they destroy a water tower and everything, and it's like it's so much cooler when you see the actual thing, right?
Oh yeah,
like they don't stage it. And in this movie, it's like it's done to that effect where it's it looks real because it's the actual actors doing that. There's no stunt actors. It's just the guys fucking killing themselves for a movie.
Well, that, and you know, it's this movie about like gangs and down and dirty shit, and it's set and filmed in locations that are down and dirty.
Yes.
And everything is filthy. It's grimy. It has that like lived-in grungy feel that you just can't fake.
Like, I can't imagine a major studio thinking it's safe at all, because it's not.
Yeah.
Filming in like defunct, dilapidated like apartment buildings.
I mean, I'm sure there's
crazy.
some that have done it, but it's not to the extent of this, where it's literally just like no permits, no nothing. We're just gonna do it.
It was so effective, though. That's what's so cool about it. Is like they're just doing it because it costs nothing, but it makes it so much more effective when you're doing it with this kind of story, because it's like they're these dirty, grimy gang members, and of course they would live in like the most disgusting places you can find.
Yeah, because it's like, of course, his psycho dad lives in this kind of building, and there's that scene where he's like sitting on the fire escape, and there's kids like pretending to shoot each other outside, and it's just this wasteland.
Yeah,
it's great.
I know.
It adds to the flavor.
I love this movie because I think it's important, because I know we've said it before, but it's like, I know it's like not everyone can make a movie, obviously. Like there's like a lot that goes into it. But this kind of shows that like you can do it with like no budget. Like you can make a convincing, compelling, fucking whack out, like insane film. Like this is not like your regular movie. It's fucking psychotic.
I've never seen anything like this.
But if you want to make it, you can do it on like no budget whatsoever.
Not just that, you can make an action movie.
Well, and an action movie that's more convincing than most action movies even today, with like you said, like 3 or 4 times the budget.
This is that ending, I'm telling you.
The ending is so fucking hype. If you watch anything from this movie, watch the fucking ending. It's so good.
Because you sit through this movie and they set these characters up, these like villains, to be the most awful, horrendous, like just evil people. And then you get to this ending, and watching them get annihilated one by one is incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
It is so incredible. And it's just the I don't know, the way it's filmed and the just kinetic energy of it all. It reminded me of like a Hong Kong movie almost, where it's just the way the camera moves. It's so well done. I don't know. It's so well done for a movie like this. It's way better than it has any right to be.
I know. Like, I did not expect to love it as much as I did. I really did not expect to, like, walk away from that movie being like, I really want to own the physical copy of this.
Yeah. Like, I could watch that ending confrontation anytime. And
I probably will still.
And still be hyped up.
Exactly.
Because you know exactly what's coming. And it's so... The way it's done is so crazy.
Well, and I think the, like, unhinged nature of the movie, like, really adds to the entire atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
Because, again, like I said, the fact that they leaned into it and didn't draw it back, they just fucking went more and more insane as the movie goes on, just added to the whole, like, really cool, like, uncanny, like, dystopian fucking pop, like, punk vibe.
It is.
It's crazy. It's like a Mad Max film.
If you want to see a movie version of like a Black Flag song,
this is it. Yeah, because it's the United States and it's in Dayton, Ohio. So like,
yeah,
it's like a fucking it's
a crazy hardcore punk song in a movie format. This is it, because once it's going, there's no slowing this.
Once
down.
The train is rolling, you can't stop it.
And it keeps
going.
It's
fucking great. And, like, it's actually pretty well filmed, I would say. Like for not being...
cost nothing.
And, honestly, like, kind of like a bunch of amateurs doing this.
Oh, yeah.
It's really well filmed. There's a lot of, like, really interesting shots they do. They do Dutch angles. They do, like... The in confrontation, like I said, where, like, is circling around him and stuff like that.
There's a great shot... Which, I mean, I and if you think about it, you know that it's just some cameraman running back and forth like a madman. But there's that one shot in the fight where there's like the train behind them, and he gets like punched by one guy, and it's like the camera like runs with him to one side of the platform, and then he gets punched backwards, and the camera immediately like swoops back.
Yeah,
and you know that's just some guy like running
with a camera
back and forth, and there's all those like shots of like. When he's like getting like rolled around and it's like some guy holding the camera to the ground, just like running with him.
Yeah. Cause listen.
But it's just like, that's so simple, but that's so much better than just.
They don't have like a bunch of fancy equipment.
Yeah.
They just fucking have a camera.
But that's
so what are you going to do? Just strap it to some guy?
But that's the thing is they make that work despite the fact that they don't have the equipment.
Exactly.
They don't have a Steadicam or whatever. There's no way they had a fucking dolly like or anything like that. It's just some guy running back and forth and like doing all those crazy angles. But that's so much better than if they were just like, just point, shoot, like.
Well, and like even like it's crazy because the effects were really good too. Like the squibs, like you could tell the blood was like fake, but they loaded those fucking squibs with fake blood because they just every time someone gets shot, it just explodes into fucking blood. Like the guy that gets the construction worker that gets annihilated, it's like a bag of blood. It just fucking sprays all over the fucking car. This movie is very violent.
It's amazing.
It is incredibly violent.
It is incredible.
When the deaths happen, you're just like, holy shit! Like it's almost jarring at first because you're like expecting like this indie.
Because you don't know what's happening.
Not to be like super bloody, like maybe a little bit bloody where we've seen it before where they like cut their neck and it's like a little line of blood or something like that. Or like when they get shot, it's just a circle of blood. But no, it's fucking just exploding all over them and fucking like heads are getting blown off and fucking necks are getting twisted around. There's a part where a guy like grabs a cop's neck and twists it all the way around.
There's the during the last confrontation when he like smacks a guy dead on with the nunchucks and it just cuts to him like a geyser of blood coming out of his face.
Or
like,
when he's choking the guy, like you
Yeah.
mentioned, there's just blood everywhere.
It's incredible.
It's just fucking everywhere.
it's incredible.
The,
And it's incredible.
The really violent dream sequence with the fucking skull and
Finger
shit.
fucking.
Yeah. It's insane. But I love it. It's fucking great. Oh my god, this movie's awesome.
Because it builds up, and then once you get that ending, you want to see these guys die.
I say all this because going into Shitty to Pretty, which is a rating system, 1 to 10.
I wonder. Well,
1 being not entertaining at all, and 10 being like really fucking entertaining, like want to watch it again. It's obviously a 10. Like
It's a 10, yeah.
This is okay. We've said this before. I know I've said it a million times.
do tell.
I love when we find these kind of movies because this is exactly why we wanted to start watching all these fucking movies from the 70s on, because I know there's fucking movies like this that I have not seen that are fucking incredible that no one talks about. I mean, granted, this is getting more love because it has an Arrow release. It has a cult following for a good reason.
Yes.
And there's people talking about this movie as a good indie action movie because I think it needs to be talked about. I think more films like this should be made. I love indie shit like this where you just have a crew that just wants to make an action movie. They have no budget and they just fucking go for it.
It's just a bunch of goons in Ohio one day.
Well, and they're so dedicated to it. I fucking love it.
You can tell our dude probably loved martial arts movies. He, there's a whole bit where he's training in the graveyard with his nunchucks.
Well, I'll be honest, it's kind of I love the fact that they did all the weird outfits too. The costumes are really fucking weird. All the gang members have their own style and personality and weird outfits and masks and shit. It's cool. It has a Warriors kind of vibe to it. And I loved it. I thought it was fucking awesome. It has such a unique style to it, and for an indie movie to do that is kind of incredible.
It's almost deceiving.
Yeah,
because you go into it and it's kind of okay, I don't know what this is gonna be, but it didn't cost any money. It can't really be a good movie. And then you watch it, and you're kind of the takeaway you start getting. The takeaway I started getting as I was watching this was that the people making this know a little more about filmmaking than they initially let on.
Yeah.
Because with the way it's filmed, the weird editing, the crazy build up and all that stuff, it's well constructed, but it's deceiving. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be that way. But then you watch it. And then you're just okay, they know how to make a movie. They probably shouldn't.
They definitely shouldn't, but I'm glad they did.
But they watched enough, I would imagine, other action movies, revenge movies, whatever, and they knew how to actually make that kind of movie.
The fact that this movie was probably incredibly dangerous to film.
Oh, yeah.
Probably highly illegal to film. And just, they didn't give a shit about anything and just wanted to make the fucking movie. It's a passion project of fuck it, we're going to make it anyway. No matter what happens, we're going to do it. Is kind of awesome. I think that gives it way more approachable style and way more that's why I think it should get credit. We should give it its flowers because it's such an incredible movie to make with no budget, being no permits, no fucking no formal filmmaking prowess.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's just a bunch of amateurs making a highly illegal, incredibly dangerous movie, and it paid off.
And it's that bleak. It's that dark. It's that fucked up.
I also love this
incredible.
movie because this is what you get when you would have no interference from a studio. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
said. I know we've mentioned it before, but I just love the fact about that. It's such a unique take on an action movie because it's not a studio, it's not even a small time studio.
It's a
saying
nobody.
saying, "Hey, you can't do this." Like, "Hey, we need to wait until this happens," or "Hey, like let's change this." It's like it's just Van Bieber doing like, "Hey, we're going to do this today. I'm going to scale down a fucking parking garage. We're going to fucking film in an abandoned, dilapidated building today.
Mm-hmm.
My dad in the film is going to be a
psycho.
a whacked out fucking drug addict, alcoholic
Who thinks
that
there's
tries to kill me in one of the like fucking most like downtrodden and fucking dilapidated buildings I've ever seen in my entire life.
And
That is probably condemned, and no one should ever step foot in it.
100%. You see him climbing into it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Probably because the door on the front was locked. Because they don't want anyone going into it.
So he just climbs in through the fire escape on the window.
I don't know. It's such a unique take and such a weird fucking movie that I fucking love it. It's so great.
If anybody wants to, I do believe this is on Tubi.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's the, remastered HD version. I would hope it is. But regardless, this film is on Tubi if you are so inclined to check out and expose yourself to this madness.
I think I probably will buy this movie, the physical copy.
Yeah, this was pretty awesome.
I
I'm not
fucking
gonna
loved
lie.
it. Especially the end.
Yeah, the end fight is... Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, it deserves all the credit because I fucking love this movie. I'm part of the cult following.
I'm a believer.
I'm a believer in Van Bieber. I guess you could say I'm a believer.
A Van believer.
I'm a Van believer. I don't know if he's made any other movies.
He has. I know he has at least one other movie that also took a fucking eternity to make, but...
Yeah, this movie took like 4 years to make. I don't know why it says 1997 on IMDb.
I don't know.
Because it was 1988.
This is a 1988 film.
Van Bieber is from Ohio, and he's a fucking crazy guy. But
He is a madman.
I fucking love it. Yeah, he is also in a Manson family.
That's a movie he made.
Yeah.
I think it's the... Yeah.
And My Sweet Satan.
Which, hey, maybe we'll watch one of these. All of them. I don't know. Depending on how easy they are to acquire.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Because...
But I'm sold. I think maybe it isn't. Maybe they aren't as good, but I'm kind of sold on it.
It would be tough to top this madness.
Yes.
But I don't know. If there's more like this, I would love to know. If there's more movies out there that are like this, I know there are. I'm sure we'll come across many more of them, especially with camera equipment getting cheaper and cheaper.
That's kind of crazy. According to this, he directed a Skinny Puppy music video.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can actually see that too, to be honest. Yeah,
I can see that.
Fucking incredible. Okay, sweet. And he also directed a music video for Pantera.
Okay.
Revolution is my name.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Sure.
Jim Van Bieber, thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for making a really just a fun fucking ride.
Thanks for making a psychotic movie.
I fucking love this psycho little movie. It's great. Go watch it for yourself if you love action movies.
Yes.
All
if
right.
you are like us, please watch this.
Please do that because we just need more movies like this. I want to see more movies like this. If you have recommendations for movies like this, please get them in.
Yes, little down and dirty action movies that really get your blood pumping.
Yeah, like if there's anything that like hypes you up, like you can recommend bad movies that we're gonna watch and we'll fucking see them and hate them, and like you'll get like your little, you'll get your jollies off on us like being
Suffering.
in complete misery, and that's fun.
Yeah,
But I also want to see some cool shit. Okay.
something I've never heard of.
Yeah. So torture us, yes, that's fine. But also maybe give us some cool shit. I would love to see some cool shit.
No, we can watch what was it? What was the Al Adamson movie? Black Samurai? Is that what
Black
it was?
Samurai, yeah.
Yeah, we can watch that.
Sure.
Al Adamson.
Sure. Or Death
Action.
Nurse.
We
No,
already, we already watched Death Nurse.
No, I know.
Wow, I'm not watching that again.
What about the new Uwe Boll movie?
Well, that's going to be a long time, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Because we're nowhere near 2025, so. Or 2024.
That's going to, yeah. Listen, Uwe Boll?
We've already watched all his other movies, so.
As many as we could stomach, put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm not watching all of his movies.
Fuck that.
The comedies, no.
You already know which ones we've watched, and we're not watching the other ones because we've said it a million times.
Yeah, that's life is very short, and
But-
we don't need that negative energy.
Before we go off on that tangent, go watch
Deadbeat
by Dawn.
Deadbeat at Dawn.
At Dawn. Whatever the fuck that means. I don't
Whatever
know.
that means.
I still have not figured out the fucking title of this movie. I don't understand why they called it that. It adds to the psychotic,
It only adds to the
psychotic nature of the movie. I still don't understand it, but go off, Van Bieber. Okay?
Go off, King.
And watch this, and maybe you can be a Van Belieber as well.
Yes.
Okay. So that for they mostly come out at night. This has been Will,
This has been Alex.
and we will talk to you Van Beliebers next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I hate people, man.
Fucking everyone is shit.
I don't give a fuck about shit.
Fuck your noise.
Fuck your noise.